I watched a bunch of interviews that you did, and I found that you don't kiss on screen. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's rare.
The
closer I come to it, I'm kissed. But, it's rare.
But I feel like I've seen so many movies, and I'm like, you always played a romantic interest, and it's true. I actually haven't seen you. Wow. No, that was shocking to find out. Is there a particular reason?
Perhaps I just think it's I'm uncomfortable.
Doing it.
From the very, very onset when I started, and it's a thing that I've been uncomfortable about.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Sincerely Accra podcast. My name is Joseph Enti, as you know it. Yes, it's yet another exciting episode. And listen, we have a very special guest here, and I'm very excited to speak to him. Before we do that, we're going to, acknowledge my co-creator and producer, Mr. Kwame Asante Ofori, of course, the other half of this podcast, and the Gold Coast Report. That's the podcast hosting network that holds us down. I always say the number one podcast hosting network in the whole Ghana. Welcome guys. Listen, I'm actually very pleased to have this guest today. I grew up on Ghanaian cinema, Ghanaian and Nigerian cinema, but a lot of Ghanaian cinema in my childhood. And at some point in time, I knew him briefly. And I don't know if you remember, but we'll talk about it. And, he's got a new movie out. And we are very privileged to have him here. And, as we do, we're going to let the people get to know him a little bit better, talking about, his journey, acting and everything. Very, very talented actor. The one, the only iconic, Adjetey Anang. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How's your day been so far?
It's been a lot of, events so far. It started with a funeral and...
I'm from a funeral too.
Oh, there you go.
I went to funeral early this morning. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the stage in life that we are in.
Yeah, there's a wedding too in the corner, and there's an interview after this and another, and there's family events. And so it's always packed.
The weekends these are even working days. You perform your social activities on the weekend.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I watched a bunch of interviews that you did, and I found that you don't kiss on screen. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's rare. The closer I come to it, I'm kissed. But, it's rare.
But I feel like I've seen so many movies, and I'm like, you always played a romantic interest, and it's true. I actually haven't seen you. Wow. No, that was shocking to find out. Is there a particular reason?
Perhaps I just think it's I'm uncomfortable.
Doing it.
From the very, very onset when I started, and it's a thing that I've been uncomfortable about. And I think that it's, if there's a way out, because it's film, it's an art, it's a form. And so there are ways in which we can make it believable than to graphically go. I mean, the choices from one individual to the other. Some want to, but it's not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with it.
Okay. But do you think if you ever went to Hollywood and the check was really good, you'd compromise?
It's not even about the check, for me, certain things would outlive the check. And once I'm not comfortable with it, you're not going to get the best out of me.
Okay, true.
To be fake. And I don't like faking stuff on camera.
I see.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with your friend Wakefield?
Oh yeah, Aku.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see each other as often as we do, because we've gone in separate directions in terms of career and and other commitments. But from time to time we're on WhatsApp, so
you keep in touch. Modern technology, and I bring Wakefield up because, based on what I found out, Wakefield is kind of like the genesis of everything for you.
That's right.
You followed Wakefield to rehearsals at GBC.
Yep.
And you saw Kwame Sifakai, all of these people were rehearsing. And I think they said somebody was supposed to come, he didn't come, and you were standing.
You've done your homework, man.
Yeah, can you tell that story? Let the people know. This is literally how Adjetey started. We met him from.
So I mean, those were in the days where, we, after school, you have this long vacation and you're wondering, okay, so what am I going to do? Most of my colleagues who had the means will travel, so you don't see them after that until school reopens again. And so this was the long back thing. And normally I would go to maybe National Theatre, where Kid Affairs, Fun World.
No, I remember Kid Affairs.
Exactly. Go out there a bit, because that was what, there's still the arts. And so, but then at this period, Wakefield just out of the blue said I should, accompany him for a rehearsal. What kind of rehearsal? I knew he was an actor, then, but I didn't really know much about, rehearsal and stuff. So we went to GBC, and there, as you rightly put it, I saw all these celebrities who I see on the screen, and these were the days where we didn't have
social media. So you only see them.
You only meet them either you bump into them at an event or maybe somewhere, but you don't come face to face with them normally, and no social media to see. You're not even in touch with them, and then there they are, and I'm so excited. So I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to come off in. And even though the director did say that, look, after I stood in for this character, he only asked me to sit in and read. And then I watch movies. So I kind of like try to put up a character and play the way, And then after that, they were looking at me like, have I done any acting? And I was like, just the school Easter plays and, Christmas plays. And the director said that, look, he's going to make me a promise. If I keep coming, he'll give me the role. Of course, I thought he was joking because Charlie, who was I?
Okay, so you kept coming.
Yes, but I kept coming not because of the promise he made, because I forgot it the moment I stepped out. I wanted to come back again to see,
be in the presence of the stars,
Johnny Dems, that was what made me come back again. And somehow, by some design, this character never turned up. So indeed, the director
you took the role?
Gave me the role.
Oh, wow.
So that happened to be my first ever TV production.
Okay, one person's mistake is another person's opportunity. And do you remember the name of this role that you played?
I know the title of the play, but the name of the character I can't remember. The title was Not Without a Fight, and that's an irony, isn't it? Because the title itself spoke to the opportunity that I had, because Not Without a Fight. So it meant that I had prepared ahead of time before the opportunity came my way. And that's what it is. Nobody in our world today, hardly would somebody come and place, a gold mine in your palm. You have to earn it. You have to prepare for that opportunity. And so for me, behind the scenes, I was reading about acting, about actors, and I had built that already. And so when the opportunity came, you
were ready. But you also do say that you grew up, your uncles used to show a lot of movies.
So that's where I picked that.
You picked it from there.
That's where I picked that.
And I heard
interest.
Denzel is one of your favorite actors.
Oh yeah, he is. He's cool, man. He's a cool dude.
I think one of the first movies I saw of Denzel was John Q. Remember one where his son was sick in the hospital?
And then took the hospital hostage.
Yes. And that's what I fell in love with him.
That's right.
So do you have like a movie that you saw when you were younger, you were like, I have to do this thing? Or made you fall in love with acting? All those movies your uncles used to show.
Somehow, strangely, I thought that when I grow up, I'll be some kind of a Shaolin master disciple. Because I fell in love with Chinese. I don't know why I was thinking, but I was young and I thought that, look, I could have these qualities where I could kick and sustain in the air, and I could have.
You raise your leg high.
And I kept dreaming about how do I gonna try some imitate how they do the karate and things like that, thinking that, when I get to a certain level, I'll be able to do that, even though I haven't seen anybody do it. But I'm like, I totally believe what I saw. Of course, I was young. I didn't know much, ignorance as well.
True.
That, this are just
because
beliefs.
You have to look at this is a viable business option in Ghana. Who wants to be here?
I know.
Okay, so I think for most people, we got introduced to you on Things We Do for Love, Ivan Kwashigas,
That's right.
But I just wanted to know, before that show, because right after that show, you were known for Pusha for like a long time. Even now, people still know you for that. Before that show, there was a role you were popular for. Yes, you remember the name?
Ecomosis,
yes. What was it? A film? Was it?
No, it was a TV theater. Normally every week there's a TV theater play on TV, and this one came in about 3 parts. Behind the photograph, I'm surprised I even remember it.
Of course.
My character Ecomosis, and so because it showed 3 parts content. I think that was like the first time that we had that. We didn't end trilogy. We didn't end that. Normally we end the play and the next week and a fresh one.
It's a fresh one, okay.
But this one continued for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And so a lot of Ghanaians fell in love with the character, and that became my name until Pusha took over.
Do you think Ecomosis is similar to Pusha in any way? Because I didn't see Ecomosis. Was he similar to Pusha?
No. No.
Very different.
Moses was more of the corporate executive guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
So it's more set in corporate and family and then, tug of war kind of thing.
Yeah.
So totally different.
Okay, so let's get into things we do for laugh because,
Right.
a lot of this is hedged on there. Is it true that things we do for laugh started out as a radio
That's right.
drama?
That was the intention for radio.
And you were playing BB?
Yes, I was.
I cannot see that.
I was playing
I just cannot see that.
And that was what I was comfortable with as well, because obviously I have to play BB now. Because it spoke to
your character.
My character and my journey then.
Do you remember what the prompt was for BB? Like when you read it, they said, what kind of character is this person? Do you remember?
Do I remember exactly what I said? Even though I know, but that's exactly what I said. I can't remember, but I knew that he was the kind of guy who needed to be pushed. He's the kind of guy who would hesitate before making a step.
Okay.
And the guy who you find in the midst of people, he's not immediately noticed, because he's either
withdrawn. Yeah, someone is always like the gang leader. He's more like the follower sort of type.
Kind of thing. And that was me.
Yeah.
Back in school.
So then that was you?
Yeah, that's my character.
Oh, okay. I know you went to Laboni Secondary School.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, so you were very like laid back, quiet.
Very laid back. Even though you find me in the midst of the guys, I'm talking about the hard.
Okay, so that came naturally to you. So then how did Pusha get offered to you? What was the conversation like?
So I have weeks of doing things to do for love. We had a whole season done on radio, and that was what it was supposed to continue. And then somewhere along the line, we got information that they wanted to, take it onto the screens. And so we had a meeting, casting became an issue. And so the director then said, I should switch roles. I'm like, well, man, of all the characters, why Pusha? Because it was the same character that, our parents, our family members
warn you about.
This kind of lifestyle. We have a family name. You don't, stay in it with this lifestyle. I'm like, this is the character I'm going to play. And these were the days where, parents, family, society were very sensitive to characters that you play.
Yeah.
Because
they think you are the same person.
Exactly.
Yes.
They think that you're a very bad boy.
Was there a Pusha on the radio? Was someone else playing Pusha on the radio? Or you don't remember?
I think there was somebody playing Pusha. I don't remember who was playing Pusha. I was not even interested in the character.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It wasn't the focus was BB and then the ladies.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember who played Pusha. I forgot.
Okay, so coming to like developing Pusha for yourself, I heard that you, the work that you do,
That's
apparently you modeled it after one of your classmates, Crow.
Yeah, Bassi.
Is this from Laboni Secondary School?
It was Laboni, yeah.
That's how he used to walk on campus. Like,
he used to walk, I exaggerated it a bit. And changed, add a touch to it a bit.
But
that's cool.
That's cool. I know, it was so.
You never saw him walk any other way.
Did you always have a bandana?
No, he didn't.
You added
the bandana thing was an accident. It wasn't even planned for. It was, it was in the days of Simanjoli.
Yes.
So the boys had it, and normally they tie it around the head.
2-pack.
So that was the idea behind when I got on set. But somehow I put it in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the scenes where BB was able to drive Marsha's car, he was supposed to go deliver it to her. And so when he sat in and then drove off, I was so freaked out. I didn't think it was unconscious. I took it out and then flapped it. I didn't know. The director had noticed it. So subsequently, he said, that thing that you did, keep it. Let it be a part of the character. So I wouldn't have repeated it. It just came on, spontaneously. And so I was like, okay.
It became a part of the character. Like people were doing that. Yeah.
So it was the director who noticed it and said, look, keep it. And then
that was so cool.
Because as we go, we build the character.
Yes. Especially in a series, right? And you also spoke about, the fact that you had to go to like certain neighborhoods to go and study how people were talking and things because
I'm playing Pusha. Pusha is a big deal for me and I didn't know what to draw that character from. And so, almost, I would say about 99%, the 1% would be that I played him, but 99% of Pusha were characters that I
you
picked
had
from society, from school, from bars, from public, and then I put them together so that, to make the character nice, so that people can relate to the character.
What was the sets like on things you do for love? Like after when you guys show up, or you guys, because right now people are on their phones. Oh, let me follow you on Instagram, this kind of things. But back then, what were you guys doing when you're not filming?
It was fun. A lot of conversations, and we got to know each other very well because people would ask questions about family, about friends, because when there's cuts, what else do you do?
Just talking.
Yeah, so we really connected very well. So it was more like a family thing. And that's today till today. I mean, Jackie, Majid were still close. Because that's what we did. And it's amazing. I mean, when you ask that question, going back, that we didn't have phones, I'm going like, it's interesting. We survived, didn't we?
Yeah, of course. I was part of that era where there was no phone.
It looks like without it, we can't.
You cannot. It's
like,
true.
There's nothing to talk about. It's just...
And what was it like dealing with fame? Because I feel like fame in the era of social media is very different.
Yeah. Was I even successful in dealing with it? I didn't know what I'd gotten myself into until social media came. I thought that I was much more relaxed, comfortable until I step out.
Yes.
And into social spaces where we have multitudes of people. I mean, area guys, flow your phone. Hey, push up. That was cool. But when you step out into the open, and then you have all kinds of, people from all walks of life, people who are excited when they see you, other people who are very suspicious of you, especially mothers or big sisters, especially when they come into a space where they come with other siblings, and then. I remember when I walked into this, there was this food place, restaurant that had a playground attached to it. Those days, I think it's no more.
Afrikiko?
No, it wasn't Afrikiko.
Okay.
I think it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And then when I got in there, I saw, some children playing, siblings were looking after their kids as well, and mothers. It was a weekend thing. And then when I stepped there, and then they saw me. I mean, I could see the mothers were trying to locate where their daughters were. The wolf is in, so.
No, honestly, back then, a lot of people used to take on-screen characters very seriously. Because I interviewed Chris about 2 weeks ago. He was telling me one time, when, Chris was a host of Mentor, and he evicted, I think, Martin or something like. He said that weekend, everywhere he would go, people were like attacking him. Oh my God. But speaking about mothers, I found out that your mother-in-law, God rest her soul, she was
I feel
I know. Guys, Adjetey's mother-in-law didn't want him to be with her daughter because of the pusher thing.
No. Listen, I mean, she loved the character Pusha.
Yeah.
I mean, she got upset when, I didn't appear in every episode.
Yes.
So there were some episodes that I didn't appear in, and each time I didn't, she got so mad. She was like, why is Pusha not in the scene? I mean, my wife would tell me that, look, she would go on and on and on. And then fast forward, she gets to know that,
the one talking to her.
The friend. I'm like, and then she's like, you have to break this relationship. Hey. This friendship. And she was like, what?
Oh.
I mean, of course, you did tell her that, you love the character.
Yeah.
Of course, that would be very biopic. But then she was shocked that, it would come from her. This would be, for her, she thought that, it would be fine for her to say, oh, really, you know him?
Because she's a fan of the character, right?
So, come to the house. Let's cook, let's eat, let's chat, that kind of thing. I mean, if anything, that's how you get to know people, me, and know whether, there's something behind that. What to do back, she said.
But I find it so interesting because if you meet him in real life, I don't think you carry Pusha in your real life. You know what I mean? But it's so interesting because, and I don't know if you noticed, so I used to meet you at ICGC back when we were at Bosokai with Joe Planch. And back then I wanted to be an actor. So every time after church, I used to speak to you. And some days when I don't even speak to you, when you see me, you come and say hi. That's how I knew that you were, because let me tell you a funny story. You know the thing, your hair over here, right? They call it a widow's peak.
Okay.
And when I was growing up, these people who have a widow's peak are wicked.
So they are wicked.
Yes! It. So I mean, so when I met you at ICGC, and every time I talked to you, you're so nice. I was like, the next thing is not true. Because I was so young. I was like, this guy is nice.
Perceptions.
Yeah. But so you had spoken about when social media came into your life. And on Sike's show, you said there was a time when you felt like you needed to reply every message on social media.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny about that?
Mm-hmm.
So your co-star Aduma in Didi, okay, I worked with a network that when she started doing music, and I was the one handling her social media. So a lot of boys would be talking, and I'm the one replying them. And so when I found out, I was like, "How you were doing all of that on your own?"
I was, because no sensitization. I didn't know how to handle it. I thought that my own thinking was that if you're able to do that, then you get them loyal, and then, they go with you, they follow you, and you have them always in their, they have you in their good books. So I used to take hours.
Because you are big, that means like hundreds of people every day.
It was wahala for me,
That's
but I had
serious.
to learn,
the hard way.
Yeah, I had to learn along the way.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a time when you disappeared. I feel like you disappeared, and everybody was like, where were you? Where are you? You apparently went to Johannesburg for a master's education. In dramatic acting.
That's right.
Wow. What is that like? Is that when you go to class every day? What's your curriculum like?
Oh, it's loaded with all sorts of things. I mean, it goes with field work, so we go into communities as well. But mainly we have laboratories where we work on our bodies and work on our emotions. We're put in different scenarios that different human beings will experience, and then see how we can come out of those situations through performance and using our body, sometimes we only act with our eyes, and to determine whether we're happy, we're sad, we're angry. And it's very meticulous, detailed kind of training. And so it's not that your natural, there's a script, learn lines and let's act. No. That is like, way down the line.
Because I think, when I watch you, you're not a loud actor. When I say that, what I mean, no. I feel like in these parts, there's a certain standard that we are used to, especially for people that come from stage. Right?
Exactly.
And you started from stage.
Exactly.
But you are very you can carry emotion in your face. And in most times, when I'm watching a movie, I have to raise the volume because Adjetey is the low register. You're always down here. So maybe I think, I think I see it. But look, like I said before, I've been following the entertainment scene, especially the things I'm interested in. And all of a sudden you were back and you were in life and living it.
Oh.
Shirley from Pomona, so 2007. I went to watch that at the Accra Conference Center with my mother. It was you, Chris, that guy from Big Brother.
Yeah.
You were in the movie, you were Jerry.
Reversing, yeah.
How is reversing like?
It's good. I mean, reversing is, it's sad for me. I call it a tragedy that he's nowhere in the scene.
I used to love his accent.
He's a phenomenal actor. Like the actor's actor. That's it.
So I want to know, how did you get that role? Because I think maybe you had come back and Shirley is doing how did you get that role?
So, back in school in Legon campus, so this is what Shirley told me, that when we had first time we had the conversation, she said, interesting, you don't know this, but I've been following you. Oh. Then she starts mentioning like productions that she's come to see, National Theatre campus. I'm like, wow. So you've seen all these? I said, yes. And she said normally she wouldn't take a liking to stage actors. Because normally when you transition, they're not able to, the fine lines that's, needs to be, like wiped out and then you cross over. They're not able to do that very well. So their performances and deliveries are very stagey. And so she normally would stay out. But then she followed me. She was like, no, there's a difference. And then fortunately, she's also seen some screen. And so she's able to compare the two and know that, I can.
You can separate. Actually do, yeah.
So she was like, look, when she does her first production, I'm definitely going to be in there. Right. Because how come? She got and that was like how the conversation started.
It seems like once you get into like Shirley's club, like it's like, okay, now every movie you can be appearing in, or do you still audition for every role? Because after that, you were in Perfect Picture.
Yeah, it's not my fault. She wanted me to be.
Did you audition for Perfect Picture? Or you just got picked?
No, with Shirley, when I have to audition, then she's in a dilemma as to which role for me to play.
Oh, because you're so good.
No, not necessarily. I mean, because maybe I fit in two roles that she wants me to play, but she needs to make up her mind. And so she would want me to come in and take the two roles for her to see on camera. And then she makes her mind. And so that has been, when it comes to Shirley, when I've auditioned, then she's not sure which character
she wants to give you.
So then when I do that, then she's like, okay.
So in Perfect Picture, were you always going to be Shoko's guy?
Did I audition for it? No, it was Perfect Picture. She told me that she had written that role for me. So
where you pretend to be a poor man so that you can get Shoko. That thing was so interesting to me.
That's crazy. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Look, this next movie is me. I think this is your best work. I don't know if you agree with me.
Which one?
A Sting in the Tail.
Oh, I think, Sting.
Yes. I think it is your best work. You had of like your hair, like I feel they transformed your look, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't necessarily pusher. It wasn't necessarily a gentleman. You were somewhere in between. And my favorite part was when you were broke. I think once they made once they made you rich in the movie, you became a bit more calm. Like, I will lie to you. I remember there's a scene where you went for a job interview and they said, oh no, you need experience. And so they won't give it to you. So you came out, there was this old man who was like, there, that's some experience for you. I love it. One of my favorite lines, I have anything here.
Oh, you do?
I guess God is too busy.
Yeah.
Do you remember the line?
Yeah, God is too busy.
Focusing on more interesting
than others or something. Yeah.
No, but I love it. I was in Akusumo International School at the time that it was shot. So after it was shot, Shelley did a special screening for the people in the town because they had appeared in the movie. I was the president of the drama club and we went to watch it. And one of the most interesting things about watching the movie was when they see themselves, like the town people or the streets, they were making noise. I was like, oh my God. No, Steve, do you know why I like it? One of my favorite Hollywood movies is Ghost. Patrick Swayze, yes. Yeah. And I feel Sting in the Tail did something like that when you guys died. And the acting is phenomenal. Please tell me about the Sting in the Tail. How did it happen?
Sting was crazy, you know. Sting was a production that Shelley had always wanted to do, but she kept postponing it because she thought at the time it wasn't right. She needed to. She had a script of it, but she expanded it. You know, and interestingly, even during the production, she did another expansion again. You know, so it was always a work in progress for her. And for us, we had to bring in a lot of things, and we all at a point contributed, you know, in the direction of the story. And that was what I thought made Sting stand out. Because we were not just a finished product from the director's desk, but it came onto the field, onto shooting set, and people were still adding on to it. Things that happened spontaneously. For example, the slap that Lydia gave me was never scripted. It wasn't there. And so when she slapped me, it took me by surprise, you know, and I had to just behave as if, okay, I mean, Digja may be upset with me, so let's just carry on. You know?
Oh, wow.
But that was a shot that, you know, one of their favorite shots, the actors really shot. So it was a work in progress that we all had a hand in, and then it became a finished product. Once I think the script stopped being a script the last take of the show.
The last thing, you guys were just like, wow. And you know, the funny thing about that movie is like, I actually watched that movie believing that you were the one. Like, I feel the twist of it being Majid at the end of the movie, it took me by surprise. It did take me by surprise. One of my favorite parts was every time you guys would go to the bar and the guy from Things to Do, Killer. Yes, he would come every time and like he's selling a beer bottle that you can produce in China. You were so this is your party. What the wrong guy? Oh no, I really like that movie. It was really great. Okay. You said in an interview once that you don't like doing TV series because you feel like it limits you, right? You want to be able to like be free to do more projects and stuff. So then why did you say yes to Adam's Apple?
So for clarification, I said I prefer, full feature than
series. Okay.
So in other words, what I'm saying is that, I love to do series, but not too much as I would if it was a full feature. The reason is that it locks you down. And especially when you have, in this part of our world where you have, you know, budget constraints and you're not able to, you know, I'm sure some of the producers would love to pay us so
much more,
but they are not able to. Okay. And so when you go into a character like maybe an Adam's Apple or a Adjetey, where you have to fix your look, it means that for the next, and we shot, for Adjetey, for example, we shot it for about 2 years. If you go into the third year, that means that I can't do anything about my looks because every week we're shooting.
Yeah, it's true. Because
So it means that it limits me. I cannot get any other role to play. Whoever comes in for me, even if I have opportunity or the window, it means that they will have to go with my look. You can only do just very little.
Something that they don't have to do too much.
Exactly. And most of the times the characters are very well defined and they want a specific look. And so naturally you lose that contract. So it locks you down and you don't always get enough out of that. You know? And so I really don't want to do that. If it was in another space, probably, you know, the returns would be much more, appetizing.
Yeah.
So,
but it seems like when it's also Shirley, you'll always be there.
Oh yeah,
because we did from Adam's Apples.
Yeah, I mean, Shirley, you know, we clicked in the very beginning. You know, it became, you know, developed from not just being working relationship, but you know, beginning to be a friendship as well, and so a family bonding as well. So for me, Shirley has always been, you know, I wouldn't even say no unless.
And I think she layers her characters very well. There's always like some kind of an arc that you follow. So it makes it interesting to play, you know. I mean, with the coming of streaming, we kind of fell off watching Ghanaian movies but every now and then things catch my eye. For example, I watched Kitty K because my mother watched it on a plane and she wouldn't stop talking about it. She was like, hey, movie you fine. I mean, you know, you're filming me. I was like, So I went to watch it and I was like, oh, Lydia, you know, stinging the tail, the chemistry was great. No, Kitty K is another really good one. It was really well done. What was the most difficult thing about shooting that movie? Because I imagine you were outside the whole time in a wig.
It was tough because we're under the sun, it was scorching. And then insect bites. Oh my goodness. I mean, because where we shot was, most of the scenes that we shot was, in a space of an old railway track line.
Yes.
Which had, you know, weeds grown over. So you can't even see it. It was the natives who were like, oh, there's this thing here. And so the director had to contract people to weed. So they actually cleared a whole space for the shoot to happen because we needed to let the audience believe that it was a
real train track.
You know, and we're gonna have weeds all over. So we had to really make that, and it was a lot of work.
That was Peter Sudifie's.
And Peter is like that. He construct the whole space in the desert. You know,
like in Aloe Vera.
That's it.
Whole two cities.
So a lot of weeding took place. And so, and then we upset, of course, the habitat of insects and whoever lived there, and they decided to pounce on us to pay us back. And so each time we have insect bites, sometimes we have to pause. Some insects will run after us. And we always had, you know, insect bites and painful to, it was a painful job to do. And fortunately for us, the numbers were not that much. I mean, you know,
the small cast, and I think the singing guys,
the Fred and the attendants, very, very, minimal cast.
But it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. You know, the theory I have, I know you are in YOLO and you're playing the older Pusha, but I think Dede's father is more like what Pusha will be when he grows older than your character. I'm serious. Like every time I watch Dede, I was like, I feel like this is Pusha grown up. You don't agree?
I don't know. I've never thought of it that way. I mean, but yeah, probably.
But what is it like stepping into a character after so many years? Like you've played a character and then so many years back, now you have to come and play that character in a different age. What kind of prep do you do for something like that?
Yeah, it's always, I mean, even when you take it on, you know, reliving characters, it's always a dangerous thing to do, because people have a certain accepted, you know, sacred, thing that they don't want you to touch to damage it. So if you're going to touch it, then it has to be way better. And some of that's very tough to do. And so, but what saved me in this one was that Pusha had grown now. So it's a completely different phase of his life where he's learned lessons, where, you know, he's now, he wants to impart what he's learned to a younger generation and directly here, his son. And so it gave me room to, you know, find, you know, another jacket to put on him. That is not really, directly Pusha. Of course, it's the same person. And so certain things will stay, some mannerisms.
Yeah, the mannerisms, yeah.
Just for that identity. But, I really had to look at what Pusha would be like growing up.
Yeah.
And what would stay with him, what would leave him. And even in his choice of words, of course, which is mostly scripted. But of course, we also have the allowance to do. And the thing too about Pusha when he was being written was Adjetey was very liberal in terms of he didn't give us every word.
Oh, okay. So you're able to like improvise.
Improvisation, lots of improvisations, lots of jargons that we pick from the street, just so that it's very relevant to people who watch it, that, this is what
everyday kind of, Ghanaian, yeah.
So that was it. That was it.
Oh, that's nice. You said on Siket's show again, she asked you, do you think you're a successful actor? You said no. Yeah. Why do you feel that? Is the answer still the same?
Yeah, still.
You're not successful.
Because I'm still ticking the boxes. I haven't how
many boxes are left?
Because look, my own definition about, success prevents me to come out one day and say it. So I don't even think that I'll say it. Because for me, the key to success is in the words key. Keep educating yourself. And you don't stop doing that until your last breath.
Yes.
That's my, so I can't come in here and say that I'm a successful actor. No, I mean, I have to go back and change the key to something else.
I like that. That is an Instagram caption. The key to success is in the word key. Keep educating yourself. Oh my.
So yeah, so I'm not.
That's cool.
Far from that.
Well, when you put it that way, I guess I will agree with you then. You are still educating yourself. Okay. So some of the things that you're doing now, I was talking to my studio people and they were like, oh, they know you from NAFTI. You are their lecturer.
That's right. I see two folks around here.
Okay. So tell us, what do you teach at NAFTI?
Acting for the screen. And presently I'm doing radio drama as well.
Okay.
So that also delivery.
That's how you started, right? Radio drama for things you do for love. Yeah. Okay. How long have you been teaching at NAFTI?
So part-time, I did part-time for like 3 years, and then I've done full-time for 21, so another 3 years. So 6 years.
Wow. I mean, your career is, I think, 25 years you've been in this game. Or did I get the math wrong?
Like I'm not sure. I know it's 20 something.
Yeah, probably 1999.
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, TV theater started. My first TV theater show was in 94. That was when I met the actors in the physical.
I was 2 years old.
I was also very green and very young.
Oh, why?
Yeah, 1994 was the first ever outdoor. I was outdoor to the Ghanaian public.
Very cool. Okay, so before we talk about your movie Porn, directed by Pascal, right?
Okay, yeah.
I just wanted to talk briefly on your book.
Okay.
I was very interested to find out that you were writing a book, first of all. I mean, look, I feel like Ghanaians have lost the art of reading, right? So there was an era where we used to read. Look, we used to buy those singing books that's right there, Westlife lyrics. We used to the Kwando book. Yeah, but we don't read anymore. No. So when Yvonne put her book out and then people were suddenly interested, I was very surprised. And then you also had a book out. But I think what was more surprising was some of the revelations, because I think that in your entire career, you've had a very clean image. Yeah. So I was wondering why you would come out and let us know about your infidelity. What do you think? What was the reason for that?
So I told you something that I don't like fake lives.
Okay.
And once I'm not comfortable with it, I don't care what the outside world thinks. It has to resonate with me. It has to be comfortable with me so that I can live my life, because we all have our purposes. We all have our journeys. They may be connected in various ways, but you have a window that you only can fit. Now, here was people knew the characters that I played, but they don't know me.
Yeah.
And that for me is not fulfilling why I'm in this space. For me, you have to know me. And I thought that this was kind of opportunity for my fan base to know who I really am, what my challenges have been in the face of this industry. Now, if we're going to take our industry further, we have to be real with ourselves. There are challenges within the industry, and we need to, and those challenges are some of what is preventing us from moving from one level to the next. And that's why our industry has been stagnant, has been very slow, because we haven't addressed some of these issues. There are people who are struggling with fame. There are people who are living fake lives on social media, and they are not, because, for example, they see Jackie appear in Paris today with a Gucci bag. Next, she's in Canada with
and that happens.
Michael Kors.
Hermes.
You know, and so young girls, young guys think that, oh, acting is so great. You know, let me just be, in there, and then my life will be transformed like Jackie or somebody else. And you don't even know what has informed or, you know, what she's gone through to get to that height.
Yeah.
And we need to address those. People are pretending, and we can't do that when we're living roles and characters, because we're sending messages through the characters that we play to real life audiences. How do they connect with us beyond the characters that we play? And all that connectivity would help the industry grow. So I thought that, look, and so the interesting thing is that there are people who, because of my interactions with them, will know the real me, but that will be in the minority. But I need to bring that out, you know, so that people will know that, look, this guy is fully baked and not, you know, saying one thing. For example, can you imagine where I'm playing a character and I'm preaching that, look, flirting with girls is not okay, and then somebody who I've flirted with on social media, like, look at this guy. You know,
but that's also a character. They can say, oh, he's acting. That's not really him.
Yeah, but you know, then the perceptions that people hold about us will still live on, you know, because gone are the days where parents will look at us in that, you know, whatever characters that you play, you are the character.
You are the character, yeah.
Then we need to break that and let people know where the acting stops and where we pick up our lives. And I think that for because of the pretense, which is normally, you know, is triggered by egos, in our system, we're not able to even collaborate and work together. We need to know ourselves, what are our shortcomings, what are our strengths, so that we can connect well and then improve. And so I thought that, look, part of my responsibility was, before younger people who are in the limelight already, who are facing the challenges that I'm facing, or before people who are about to step into the limelight, let them be aware of these challenges. How was I able to come out of it? So that when they are in the limelight, they will make better choices.
Oh, so you address that in the book, how you got out. Okay.
And how, and what to focus on, which is purely the art, other than the fame. The fame is just a byproduct of it. You know, that is not the focus. The focus is the craft and the skill to know, and that's what you have to keep educating yourself. We only rely on talent most of the time, and that's not enough. And, you know, the Western world will tell you that it's not enough, that they learn. And so every now and then, Samuel Jackson, L. Jones, late L. Jones, and then so they're going back to Broadway to stage.
Yeah. They do that quite a lot.
It's like, technically, that's an indirect refresher course, because the stage, you know, takes you back to the basics, where you know, once you mount the stage, you have to be 100% present, because audience is alive. And I always say that we have a fine opportunity to have refresh courses here in Ghana, because I always say that, look, if you're able to perform here in Ghana to a live audience, you can perform anywhere in the world.
Why do you say that?
Our audience are tough. Tough in every sense of the word. Look, somebody walks onto stage and somebody feels that this is a space where he can let out what he is thinking or feel okay. And so he goes out, it has nothing to do with the story. And then you have, you know, backing vocals who start laughing.
Yeah, it's true.
And then somebody will chip in something, and then it's a comedy show. Yeah. You know, even when we're dealing with tragedy on stage.
Yeah.
And so this is an audience that you have to be fully, you know, engaged, locked in.
Yes.
And so that you're not distracted from the character that you're playing, because there's the same people who will murder you when you're going in and out of character. True. You know, so it's a tough laboratory for me, where I think that actors, actresses who have the potential should experience the stage effect and our audiences and put them anywhere. I've had the opportunity to perform in France, in Europe, and the audience, totally opposite. I mean, these are people who, in the middle of performance, you're wondering, do they even like what we are doing?
Yeah.
They're quiet.
They're just quiet. They're watching.
When they have to laugh or you know, make a sound, they all do it in unison, as if they've been choreographed. You know, so it's very, very, Not cultured, but very, I would say, just, for want of a better word, matured.
Yes.
They've been sensitized. They know the craft itself. They know that inputs unnecessarily could distract a performer.
Yes.
They respect, the rules of engagement. And so I'm saying that, hey, come to Ghana. It's a different story. But
in Ghana, somebody in the audience is always trying to be the funny one that like will keep people laughing.
There you go.
And once they say something and then people laugh, they will keep doing it throughout the whole. Oh my goodness.
It's crazy on stage.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. So you have, by the way, before I move on from that, his book is called A Story of Faith, Imperfection, and Resilience. Is it still out there for sale? Yeah. So I think it's in the bookshops, right? Yeah. Adjetey Anang. I think he released it when he was 50. Oh my God, you're 51.
Am I? Yeah, I think so. Hey.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Listen, you guys want to age this way gracefully. It's serious, eh? Very great. But look, I only found, when I was reading the thing about the book and it said you released on your 50th birthday, I was like, oh, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't think you're 50. I'm serious. You look good. So about porn, I watched it and you are playing it's like an action movie.
Yeah.
You're like an inspector sort of, right?
Yeah, I am.
It was giving very Will Smith, like with the guns and the straps. Yes. So what's the story of porn? There's a lot of people in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, there are. It's, I mean, when you mentioned that Stink was my best work yet, I was thinking, and I think that my toughest work to date would be porn. The reason being, I play 3 characters.
3?
So there's a time where I'm talking to myself in a room, 3 pages nonstop. I talk to this character, which is me, and it's talking back, we're talking to this guy, he's talking to her. And I'm going through their lives like that. And the difficult thing about that is that you have characters that are well defined, who have their own mannerisms and what have you. And how do you play it so distinct from the other without overlapping, mannerisms to the next?
Into the other one, yeah.
It's the same Adjetey playing it. So very tough. Technically, I had to be very disciplined. And it really, really took a lot out of me in terms of my emotional state, a mental state, and how to really live these characters and distinctively. I still think that I could have done more, but people were like, really, and so,
we are our toughest critic, I think. Whenever you do work, you are your harshest critic.
You have to be.
I think. So that feeling is fine, but it can also be that you did it so well, but that feeling will still be there.
Yeah.
Because that's a very, for me, when I used to want to act, so I've gone through, auditions. I've been in a few short films with my friends.
Right.
And I think people really underestimate what it means to embody a character. Because it's not just, I remember the director then, God rest his soul, Hesse, he would always say, you're not Joseph right now. You're not so leave the character. You have to channel the emotions of the person you're playing. So I'm just thinking about 3 different characters and it's all you.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the plot line?
So basically, it's about the consequences of what we do in the journey of life and how it plays out ahead of us. And so, these group of guys who thought they would have fun, unfortunately, there's a secret society who end up gang raping a girl.
Oh, okay.
And now there's a killer out there who knows about this and is taking them out.
One by one. So it's like revenge for what happened.
But we never know who the killer is.
And who do you play?
I play characters.
Different characters.
I play detective.
So you are trying to get behind.
I'm trying to solve the issue, the case, crack the case and find the killer. But I also am dealing with a personal issue that is coming in the way of my work, because I'm touted as one of the best in the country in terms of solving.
How Inspector Vidiaku reloaded.
But there's always a flaw. This is how they've done the modern James Bond, where he's not just fine and finesse. He has a racket, but he also have faults. I mean, the former James Bond, he can do no wrong. He doesn't do any mistakes or errors. But
so let's see the rawness of this one.
Rawness, and so even though I'm the best in the field in terms of solving crimes, I also have this personal challenge, which makes it very, very humane, you know, because as human beings, we are not perfect. We're good at something, but there's something where that we are not too good at. Yeah. So how do I deal with this personal issue, which is looking at mental health, which is another aspect of this movie that this movie is looking at, and then track this killer. And then the twist in there, it's a mind blowing. When you read the script, you think that you're in the movie actually. And that was what really was like, hey man, this movie.
Yeah, the trailer actually captivates you, you know? Yeah. I think you enjoy working with Pascal Accra. You go Coast Lounge.
Oh, yeah.
That was him as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Phenomenal. The wig was throwing me off a little bit, but
I know, right? I was like, I was cringing, but you know.
So where is the where can people watch the movie and for how long?
For
Porn, yes.
Yeah, for Silverbird Cinemas. So on the 2nd of November, then it premiered and then it stays on.
For how long? Is it going to be around
it depends.
in December?
I mean, I don't see it being there for less than a month. It's going to, depending on, the direction the producers want to go. Which so funny enough, I co-produce with Lens Entertainment.
On this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also Links Entertainment's first outdooring of the movie because they've crossed the carpet from
yes, they have a whole studio
into film. Yeah, and so it's their first feature.
Then I'm positive that it's going to find its way onto streaming.
It's solid. I mean, it's Richie and the gang. They've done incredible work. Yeah.
No, even the caliber of people like Lydia Forsen, I think Sika is in there as well. Nikki Samonas. Yes. Oh yeah, Gloria's really good. I know her from Ifura all the way back. Yeah, no, honestly, guys, there's a lot that is happening, and I feel like sometimes we forget some of the little things that bring us joy. I remember back then when Silverbird was fresh. Even if you can download the movie, you want to go and experience it because it's a whole vibe. And I've seen the trailer. I was actually invited to the screening on Wednesday and Friday, and I couldn't make it. Yeah, I have a 95. Who don't know? I couldn't make it, but like I'm really gonna try and see this movie.
Please do.
Yeah,
please
I don't see all of your work, but every now when I have the opportunity to, I will see it.
Please, see this one. I mean, if you don't see any of my movies, see this one.
Oh, we're going to see this one. We're definitely going to see it. Yeah. All right. Just before we let you go, my last question that I ask my guests, what do you want Ghanaians to understand about the iconic actor, the living legend, Adjetey Anang? And please don't tell me you don't see yourself as a legend. You are.
I don't care what you guys call me, but
what do you want people to understand about Adjetey Anang?
Understand?
Yes.
So, what do I want them to understand? Okay, so that's interesting. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Because people have various perceptions of people.
Yeah.
Based on what they think they know. Yeah.
So I want people to understand, I think this will just do it for me, is that we're flesh and blood. People who you refer to as celebrities, struggle with daily issues that you struggle with. It doesn't mean that when the limelight is on us or the spotlight is on us that we transform into these untouchables or we can do no wrong people. We do mistakes. We have errors. Sometimes we speak badly. I've seen some of my colleagues being, in a hot seat where they have responded to somebody who is provoking them on social media and they can't hold back and all that. So we're human. And so people should be sensitive to that and not think that we're already made up and therefore, they should having high expectations of us is not fair to us.
Yes.
And that anybody can be in the limelight is what you do when you're under the limelight that is most important. And so please, let's attach some, humanity, humaneness to it.
So how we treat you.
It's tough. Sometimes I read comments of people and sometimes it's very tough to read. The only thing that I would also advise, people, my colleagues is that, sometimes people will tell you the truth. Is how it's packaged that is the how that's problematic. But you don't throw the baby away with the dirty water. Just sift out the content, good content, and forget about how it's been put in. Somebody will insult you before he tells you, he gives you wisdom. Take it. Be humble enough to take it. But just to appeal to our fan base that, hey, just know that we're human beings. We're not different than, someone. And most of the time, I revere my fan. My fan base are my celebrities, actually.
Hey.
Because without them, I will not be noticed anyway.
True.
Our work, we'll do it and nobody's going to carry the message out there anyway. And so they authenticate what we do. And for me, but just remember that we're human beings. So we have feelings as well.
They are human beings. They have feelings as well. They have family members. So yeah, definitely that. Guys, it's been a great conversation with Adjetey Anang. What I'm hoping that this interview does is that if you've just known of Pusha, or you've known, because Adjetey on social media is also still very reserved, but this gives you some insight into how he started his journey and some of, the things that he holds dear to his heart. If there's anything that you can see is that he's actually a very dedicated actor. We did masters in dramatic acting. I hope I got that right, but you know what I mean? So definitely check out Pawn in theaters from 2nd November. And, it'll be great if you come and then under the comment section, you're like, oh, I actually saw the movie and this and that and that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Engage, we always talk about the lack of an industry, but I say, instead of complaining, look for what is already there and exalt it so that those people will keep going, because it's a tough industry that is happening in also a tough period, but we can do it, guys. It's Sincerely Accra. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Make sure you're always checking for us because it's always a good time on Sincerely Accra. My name is Joseph Inti, and I'll catch you on the next one.